In every generation, a rare few rise, not just to lead companies, but to shape entire industries. Not just teams, but movements. Welcome to the League of Extraordinary Leaders East Africa, where vision meets courage and strategy sparks transformation. Hosted by Uganda's leading business journalist, Muhereza Kyamutetera. This is your front row seat to the minds reshaping the future of African business.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching from, I don't know what time it is, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, or if there's anything in between. Welcome to yet another episode of LXL East Africa. That's the League of the Extraordinary Leaders East Africa, where we have conversations with women and men whose decisions run this town, like they say, in slang speak. But basically, the greatest leaders of our time, because every time has its own greatest leader. So today I'm happy to host a leader that I will introduce to you very shortly. But one of the things that I know about her is that if Uganda is a human body, I think the organization she leads is most likely the heart or the lung, especially for those people who are above 18 and are about to start being adults. Because if you're an adult and, at least if you don't run a business, you're thinking of opening a bank account and soon you'll be asking for a loan. So basically, when her organization is working very well, the economy and many other things run very well. So with me here today is a lady, we all know her as Kainobwisho. She's the Registrar General of the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. And in there, she's also the official receiver. I think not very many of us know what that means. I'll be asking her to explain. And she's so many other things. But of course, being a journalist, I've covered since the time she's been, at the institution. It has transformed greatly. She'll be telling us about those numbers. But we also not talk a lot about those numbers. We also look into the kind of leadership that takes to bring about those numbers, because transforming an organization just doesn't happen by prayer and wishing alone. It requires a lot of decisions that are made every day. So we'll be seeking to understand the thinking, the decisions, the challenges as well as the many other things that it has taken to make that happen. So welcome to this show, Mercy. And thank you for accepting to take off your 2 hours to come here and be with us.
Thank you very much, Kyamutetera. Good afternoon to our listeners, viewers, or good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for that kind introduction.
Great. So before we jump into the deeper conversation, to a layman, I don't know how a layman looks like, but for the average person, what would you say are the things URSB does, and when it is working well, what does it mean for the average Ugandan? Thank
you very much, Cham. Well, we could use the taste of an ordinary man in place of a layman. An ordinary man is defined under the legal system as that person on an omnibus. And now that we have borders, because now borders define borders, an ordinary person is that person that really is on the border or an omnibus that has the basic minimum knowledge. How would they understand in terms of simplified messages? Uganda Registration Services Bureau is an institution of government, and it was created by an Act of Parliament of 1998, the URSB Act Cap 217 now. And it was created to take over the functions of the Registrar General's office, which was a department under Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And it became actualized in 2010, 2011, when we got a separate vote from government, and we started off as Uganda Registration Services Bureau. But the role of registration of businesses that we do, company names, intellectual property, security, interest in movable property, resolving insolvency, business rescue, to mention but a few, has been a role that has been here for years. And it was stressed back in 1910 And we have all these registers, very intact, digitized, and the process is automated. To an ordinary person, Uganda Registration Services Bureau is this institution that registers your companies, your business names, and the companies under the Companies Act, the business names under the Business Name Registrations Act, documents, those are legal documents, contracts, agreements, deeds, and these certificate declarations, affidavits are registered under the Registration of Documents Act. URSB does register patentships under the Patentships Act. The business name, I mentioned Business Names Registrations Act. The URSB also registers interest in security, in movable property or chattels, and this is also under the Security Interest in Movable Property Act. Uganda Registration Services Bureau handles insolvency matters. That's why that's the role of the official receiver under the Insolvency Act. Intellectual property is also registered with Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and intellectual property is categorized in different classes. We have trademarks, which are protected under the Trademarks Act. We have the patents, which are protected under the Patents Act, the utility models under the Industrial Property Act, I beg your pardon, the industrial designs under the Industrial Property Act as well, the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act, which is under the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act, which has recently been amended. We have the traditional knowledge and folklore. We have the geographical indications, which are protected under the Geographical Indications Act. We have the trade secrets, which are protected also under the Trade Secrets Protection Act. And until recently, we were handling marriages, which we handed over to the NERA under the Government Rationalization Program. So beyond registration, we maintain databases of all these registrations. So if your entity is not registered, if your document is not registered, we don't have you in our system. And we are here to tell every person that register, because it is the role of government to provide an infrastructure for you to register and protect your businesses, your intellectual property, your documentation, that facilitate you in businesses, that facilitate you in innovation. So it is very important. So Uganda set this infrastructure in terms of the legal framework, in terms of the institutional framework, which is Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and these facilitate your businesses.
I attended an event, I think sometime last year, where you threatened to tell us which one was the first company that was registered in Uganda, and he said, but I'll tell you in the next meeting. I don't know, is that also protected under under some special act of Parliament? That, I mean, I'm sure people would want to know, for example, what was that company that was the first one to be registered? 001.
Okay. Well, the first company to be registered in Uganda is traced in 1912. The first trademark to be registered in Uganda is traced in 1913, and we have all the documentation. Of course, disclosure is an element, and in government we don't just disclose some information. Yes, this is public information. You can go on our website, pay a search fee, and get this information. But I don't think that company would want me to publish it this way. But the information is available. We are committed to confidentiality, but also data protection in terms of the data protection law. But this information is available. And I will tell it to you offline. so that you go and interview them. So that you don't go and interview them. But it's a company that is still very active. It was first owned by Indians, then it shifted ownership. It's now owned by Ugandans. It's very active, one of the most active companies.
Is it a financial services company?
No, it is a social club.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I'll give you hints there. So it is available. If I had sought their permission, I would have said it, but I didn't want the media to know. But I will tell you the information that you can actually go and to speak to them.
You know, one of the things they told us in marketing that the best way to market is don't tell me how good your fertilizer is. You tell me how good my flowers will look.
Okay.
That way about. So if you're speaking to this ordinary guy, like the guys behind the cameras, I mean, people will be asking you, and in Uganda we have this, so we have this of talking of, okay, I've been doing this and this for all this long, am I dead? Like, so there could be someone out there saying, oh, I've been running my shop in Chikubo, or I have been doing this and that for these 20 years. I have never been to URSB, my business is thriving. What would you say they could be missing? Maybe they are just thriving in ignorance. What could they be missing?
Very important question, Cham. Very important question. Indeed, the people behind the cameras are Gen Zs, highly learned, high tech.
Yeah.
So they understand the things. But to that ordinary person, the business people who are, you asked actually which body part URSB could be. I think it's a lifeblood, it's blood. Because URSB handles business facilitation, innovation, and the economy thrives on the private sector, and private sector has all these businesses registered and innovations protected.
Yeah.
In terms of the work we do, and in terms of how I could engage the public or the young or old or middle-aged people on registration of their businesses and innovations, it is important to note that like a human being has a cycle, a whole life cycle. You are born and you're baptized.
Yeah.
And the naming of a child is not easy. I don't know how they came up with your name.
Yeah.
You should ask your parents, but it's not easy. Then you thrive and go through the process. Then you get the national ID number, you get married, you get your marriage registered, and when you decide to leave this world at 120 years, that's a prophecy. Then you have your death registered with government. So government manages the life cycle because it has the database, and that is why it is important to get the national identification number or registration. So it's the same as an entity. Let's call it entities and innovations. Entities will include partnerships, NGOs, cooperative societies, business names, companies, because for any government to thrive, it must have the national identification register. Civil statistics are very important. Then the entities register, which has all entities that are not human beings. Maybe that will be another discussion for another day. So for me to promote and persuade the person downtown, let's say, to register their business, it is true. Many businesses are not registered. Our register has less than 1 million registered businesses, and these include partnerships, companies, business names. Less than 1 million. Look at the population of businesses in Uganda. Why? Because legally it's not mandatory to register business in Uganda. You know, Uganda, there's some flexibilities, there's too much freedom. So you can set up a duka or a kiosk today and tomorrow you take it down. And you make, that's how it is. But in some societies that have stringent laws, you cannot run a business which has not been registered. It's a precondition. You can't. So for me to convince a person to register their business is to tell them the benefits. What flowers are there from that seedling? The benefits of registration, for example, for a business or a company is, first of all, your name. You secure your name. Your name is protected, and nobody can use your name. Your invention is protected. Nobody can use it, and you can commercialize it. Then the other is that you can open a bank account. You don't have to keep your money under your pillow or wherever you keep it.
Give it to the neighbor to keep
or the
for
neighbor
you.
to keep for you. When you're registered, it's easier for banks to open for you an account because you are an entity recognized and registered under the laws of Uganda. Then the other benefit is that you can compete within the country but also across borders. If you want to sell your goods, the products, You cannot go across the border when you're not protected. Your name is not protected. And no economy will allow you in their space when your name is not registered.
Yeah.
Then we also have local and foreign companies. For the foreign companies, the law is very clear that you have to register within a specific period of time, usually like 30 days within establishment. But for the local companies, it is not provided for. Then the other benefit is that during the procurement process, you can provide those services to government, supplies, supply of goods and services. Government cannot give you business if you're not a registered entity.
Yeah.
But also the issue of legacy and continuity. Once you're registered, at least you have the paperwork to pass on to the next generation. We have family businesses that have existed for generation after generation because they were well registered, they were documented, they complied with all the legal provisions. So it is important that an ordinary person registers their business, because at the end of the day, yes, there's the licensing component in terms of paying trading license. You can open a shop, put a label of a name which is not registered, and the city authorities or local governments pick their trading license. It is okay, but you do not legally exist. That's why we have come up with strategies as government to government, working with URA, working with local government, working with the city authorities, Ministry of Finance, of course our ministry, the Ministry of Justice, to have these collaborations that before you issue that trading license, first get on the register of URSB. And now it is even shifting that even your TIN number or your other business certification numbers will be the business number. So what am I saying to the ordinary person? You are the one who benefits from registration. You benefit more than the government. Let's take an example of the calamities that happen, like the flooding that happens sometimes, and your business is affected. So how do you make claims when it is not registered? First of all, it is not registered. There's no evidence of registration on our database. You are not even keeping books of accounts. There's no evidence that you exist legally. So the government cannot even come in to support you because they'll look at those that are registered. So it's very important to safeguard your business. That is what we call protecting your gains. How do you protect your gains when you have not registered your businesses? So it is very important that you register your business for legal existence, because registration with Uganda Registration Services Bureau gives you the legal existence. It gives you the exclusive rights over that name, over that intellectual property, and nobody can use that name without your authorization or license. Yes.
No, interesting perspective, and you know, I'm partly involved in the tourism business, and one of our people, they are going for a roadshow, you know, in Cape Town. So they are meeting these big time buyers from all over the world. And they are trying to tell them about gorillas. Now, you know, Uganda, we have about 53% of all the gorillas in the world. And of course, the others are shared between Rwanda and DRC. And these whites were saying, are you sure you guys have gorillas? They're like, we have actually the most number of gorillas. They're like, no way. And then the guy asked them, so if you have them, how come you don't name them? So for me, that's why it came out actually, why it's very, very important. And I think why Rwanda's campaign of naming gorillas is very smart, because then you can't name that which you don't have. So I hope people can now understand why name is very important and going ahead to register them. I hope ours, when we do register them, we can actually bring them to URSB and register them. And very interesting. So I've just been looking at the report, the 5-year report, which almost coincides with the time you've been in office, because I think you entered office around 2020. And for me, it's more like your report card. And I've just been trying to assess you and looking for value for, you know, for taxpayer money, you know, including, you know, there's a guy who was saying that some of you are talking about taxpayer money when you don't even pay tax, but at least for me, I pay. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting numbers, and I think for me, the performance has been great. But also as a user of the service, I think not only the numbers, but I mean, like we are talking off the record, and I was saying that I didn't know until recently that as a journalist, if I wanted to find out about a certain company, I just log in and I get a notification on my phone, I pay, and without me leaving my desk, I'm able to get certain information that I'm looking for, which I found very, very innovative and interesting. So looking at those numbers in the report, there's lots of numbers. What are the key numbers that excite you as a person and why?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the work that you have been doing in showcasing what entities have done in the private sector and the public sector.
Yeah.
And indeed, we have scored highly in terms of registrations and revenue generation. Yes, of course, 5 years ago, we took on a well-nurtured institution. I was still a part of it. And, you know, when you're given an institution that is growing, you have to make sure that you fatten it, you give it the fertilizers, you put the systems in place, you make sure the people that work in that farm are very comfortable, but also build systems and trust and structures. I think that is the growth that you see at Uganda Registration Services Bureau. We have made sure that the people that run the systems are well catered for, the staff, because if you don't take care of the staff, even if you bring the best digital system, it will be failed, and the people will fail it. So you first work on the mindset change, empowerment, skilling, retooling, weeding out the elements that
the weeds.
the people that may not be aligned, aligning, or taking those who are not aligned for wheel alignment. So there's a lot that goes into institutions, a lot of work. Then you make sure that you have the systems in place, the digital transformation that you see, the online business registration system, the online intellectual property system, the case management systems, the security interest in movable property system. There's so many systems that have been deployed within the infrastructure of URSB. And the system sustainability is also very important. And making sure that the system is functional. And this has helped us to reduce the numbers in terms of, it used to take weeks to register, for example, a business, but now it takes 2 hours or an hour. It used to take days to register like a power of attorney. It now is instant, and you don't have to come to our offices. It is done online. We used to be in the queues of banks to pay the non-tax revenue or registration fee and stamp duty, but now you pay using the Visa card, mobile money, or online payment has been enabled. So the system has been made simpler and accessible. And then, of course, by doing that, you create that trust, the credibility, because through that we had to make sure that all documents are digitized. All documents of the ones I've mentioned from 1910 are all digitized. We no longer have paper files, apart from those the historical records that we store. But for the new companies after OBRS in 2024, rolling out of the online business registration system, you just have to file at the comfort of your office, your space. But those that have no access to the internet, they go to our regional offices. We have offices in 47 municipalities. We have also bigger regional offices, and there are also self-service stations where our staff, our client support staff, are there to upload your documents, help you manage the payment, and then you get registration, your registration certificate online. So it has been made as simple as that. So in terms of numbers, yes, we have opened more regional offices, the latest being in Hoima. We are online 100%, fully. Our processes are automated. All processes are automated. Even the internal processes, administrative functions. We have increased staff. You know, our mandate is ever increasing. We now have a new mandate of handling the non-individual register. We'll come back for it in terms of the interview. And we have expanded in mandate and the laws that we administer or implement. And that means that we have to increase the staff. For example, in 2020, we were about 293 staff. Now we are coming to 500 staff. And we have to be on, because we have come up with a number of innovations. We have to be in the field. We are no longer the registry that people would sit and wait for people. No, we go to the market. We have a marketing, a communication department. We have all these mobile registration initiatives.
Yeah.
We have market days. We have all these engagements in the public. We have also set up technology and innovation centers in different universities, research and development institutions, and also secondary schools. We have about 41 of them. And this has been growth that has been over the years. And so the numbers are good. We collected in the last 5 financial years, we collected over 300 billion because we are a non-tax revenue generating entity. And under the URSB law, URSB is a URA in terms of collection of an agent of URA in terms of collection of non-tax revenue, because our services are commercial.
Yes.
Beyond that, then the registrations have increased. When you look at the numbers in terms of businesses, they have increased. Only that as they increase, we also weed out those that have been dormant.
Yeah.
Yes. Then when you look at the systems that we have deployed, there are so many, but sustaining these systems by the online needs a lot of funding. It's one thing to have to open to online registration systems, and it's another to sustain them. And these are homegrown, locally grown systems. Yes, inbuilt systems, some given to us supported by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, and others generated within the institution itself. But they're all Ugandan, local products attending to our local solutions. So the numbers are good. I would speak like the Gen Z, the numbers are numbering. Yes.
Clack it.
Clack it.
Those things.
They are doing well.
Okay.
In terms of service delivery, there's a shift. We have call centers, we have chatbots, we are now developing a simple app, also using the USSD code. We are taking Africa. We are taking Africa. You look at the registration systems in Africa. Yeah. We've attracted so many jurisdictions in terms of benchmarking. So we are really doing well, but we are not seated just honoring ourselves and praising ourselves. We're looking for the next, what is the next solution? We have now AI that has come in. How are we going to use AI in registration? We are trying to embed AI now in our, for example, name searching. I know many people have not a popular experience with name reservation. You take one name, it is taken. Another one, it is taken. So we tell, please fill like 4 or 5 names. And sometimes you have to bring like 15 names before you get the name that. And when you are assessing names, let's look at company names. The test that we use when we're examining company names or business names is that you have to get a name that is not confusingly similar. It can be similar, but not confusingly similar to the public. The same as the test we use under the trademarks when you're examining marks, logos, designs. There should never be any confusing similarity for an ordinary person. So we take them through that process. But with the AI, because now in business registration, we rely a lot on the human mind, the registrar behind the screen. But now we want to deploy AI systems that will determine the similarity, because the test of a machine is totally better than the test of a human being. Because some human beings, sometimes the mood is low, or the person is hungry, and there are those human errors. So we are trying to minimize that. But as far as the numbers are concerned and the achievements, URSB is a great institution, and you watch in the next few years, whether I'm the leader or not, because we have put systems in place. The structure, the people, the infrastructure is already laid. And it outlives us. For URSB is bigger than us. So whether I'm the leader or not, URSB is an institution that is set to break the global setting in terms of business registration, business facilitation, but also intellectual property facilitation. And when you look at the numbers also of insolvency, the days it takes now to resolve matters, we also handle disputes, dispute resolutions, but also business rescue. Instead of waiting for companies to fail and we help them to close. We say, no, before you close, you can try this. If you had 10 branches, you can reduce them to one, and you see whether the company can exist. So corporate governance issues are promoted through the business rescue program that we have, and aftercare program that we have in place. So we come up with a number of innovations that help to attract the registration of businesses, but also the sustainability of businesses, because once you register, you have to keep live on the register. If you're going to procure land as a company, you have to register resolution with us. If you're going to transfer shares, you have to register documentation with us. And if you're dealing with any entity, and beyond wanting to know that it exists legally, but if you want to know that it is active, you have to engage us, or you have to look at our database. Otherwise, you can't be an active entity when you have not been filing, for example, annual returns, resolutions, and related documents on the file.
Okay. And I mean, it's, at least for us, this side of the private sector, we tend to think of you guys in government as people who thrive on, the more ignorant we are, the better it is for you, especially for the guys who've been surviving on, I mean, there are those guys who survived on moving around with files and all that kind of thing. And so I'm sure, and I mean, we've seen some other government agencies where they try to implement such things, but there's a lot of resistance because people are thinking, okay, like now someone wants to send us home. So implementing such kind of things requires some kind of, you have to have an exceptional drive, but also be able to work around and bring everybody on board and work. How was the whole experience? How has been the experience of transforming this whole organization?
Wow, what an interesting question indeed. Transformation doesn't come easy. It comes with a lot of pains. Yeah. Because you have to, beyond changing the mindset, you have to train the human resource, you have to kick off some people, but also affect the value chain, the people in the value chain, the traditional value chain, the people who are benefiting from the delays and the bureaucracies. But what was done is that we did a lot of stakeholder management, and like I mentioned, we had to start with the staff themselves. Yeah. We either change our mindsets to embrace this, or we perish together. So we either innovate or perish. Then for the what we may call agents, we were not hostile to them. We made sure that they trained. We told them this is still the same process. Just if you want to help us, because this is private. If a person goes to a lawyer, wants to use a lawyer, it is okay. If you want to use an agent, it's okay. But if you want also to be relevant in this whole shift, paradigm shift, you have to train to use the system. And you keep your clients. That's what we're interested in, is have applications coming. Has the payment been made? Has the process been done within the time? And another interesting achievement is that we are now ISO certified globally. So we go by the standards of the globe. So it affects, many people will fall off and many people will be affected. But the people who will be affected are those who are not willing to change or to embrace change. Because if you don't change, they say change will change you. So it is an issue of collaboration. It's an issue of acceptability. It's an issue of mindset change. It's an issue of letting systems work, but also looking at the bigger picture of competitiveness. If we stayed traditional, running around the paperwork, how will Uganda be rated globally? Because we are competing across board. And here we are looking at an investor somewhere outside the country and is trying to make a decision to invest in Uganda. You are in tourism sector. So what will be what will inform this investor? The FDI element. What will inform the investor? They will look at the time it takes to register business. It takes a short time in Uganda. And then the processes that are involved. Is it sign here, sign there, sign under, sign on top, sign where? People don't like that.
Of good conduct.
Yes. Do I have to fly to Uganda to get the certificate, or I can do it at the comfort of my jurisdiction? Then the movement, there was a lot of movement. You come to URSB, we make an assessment, we call them bank assessment forms, BAFs. Then you say, go to the bank, then you go to the bank and line up. Meanwhile, you have money to pay. Maybe even along the way, your money has been stolen from you. Then you come back to URSB, we say, now make an application. Then you go and look for the shareholders, where, then they have to sign, then what? But now you cannot register a business without a NIN. The identifier element, that's what I talked about, the trust, the credibility of the information, the fact that before you register any person in that, if you're a Ugandan, a shareholder or subscriber, we have to capture your NIN. We are integrated, our system is integrated with NIRA, it's integrated with URA, NSSF, all these key agencies. And we have put up one-stop centers that beyond registration, if you want to get land, we have the land desk, and they will tell you, I mean, they do a land search if you want to buy land to confirm, if you want an NSSF number, if you want a TIN number. But now actually the system is integrated with URA, so you can get the TIN through our system. So it's no longer government working in silos. It's government in the business facilitation sector coming together. Our Uganda Investment Authority is part of, we are part together with in the one-stop center. We Capital Markets Authority is also on the same space. The utilities certificates, I mean, issuers or licensing authorities. So the investor would want to know how easy is it to register and get a license in Uganda. And this is what informs the decision. So if you don't get online, if you don't do digital transformation, you remain traditional and you'll not be competitive within Africa or within East Africa or globally. Yes, so we have to stop looking selfishly at what we gain from bureaucracies, at what we gain from the gaps that government systems create, but be enablers of facilitation of business. You can still make money, but at a smart level, upgrade your skill, upgrade your attitude, and also make smart money by being an agent or an agent of registration. But for us, our system, whoever gets on that system, as long as you can be identified and your phone number is there, you register.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I was talking to a CEO recently. I mean, we're just having an offline conversation, and he had just resigned from one of the big companies around. And so, and he was telling me, you know, our shareholders are very interesting. Last year we grew at 19%, and the year before that we grew at 25%. And the shareholders are not happy. They're saying, so if you can grow between 25 and 19, it means if we push you a little bit more, now we want you to go at 30 next year. So meaning that every time you do something nice, you know, we are all your twists, we expect more. Like recently, I mean, I'm used to say, if I'm doing an online search, I pay. It takes about maybe 5 or so minutes to get an email. The moment it becomes like 10, I start being angry. And naturally, we expect more. So looking at the numbers in your report and also knowing where you want to go, especially that also the government has set a very ambitious, you know, the 10-fold growth strategy. That means that at the most least, in the next 15 years, all the parameters, the efficiency parameters that you're giving us, they also must grow by 10 times or more. So looking at these numbers, what numbers worry you? You know, you'll be like, okay, as you go to sleep, you're like, tomorrow when I get to office, I need to whip people along this line. What are some of the key things that worry you?
Yes, thank you. A very important question, because Uganda Registration Services Bureau is a government agency, as I mentioned, and the government has the National Development Plan. And at Uganda Registration Services Bureau, have the strategic plan that feeds into the government National Development Plan. And we break it down every financial year into work plans. And work plans indicate the numbers that we are targeting, the activities, the financing, and so on. The beauty is that for the last 5 years, our non-tax revenue grew by over 50%. So now the expectation is that now if you can grab this, so we expect, so it is ever increasing. It is ever increasing, the target is ever increasing because of the last performance, the last year's, several years' performance. When you look at also the investment in URSB, for the last 5 years, we are happy that, in fact, we want to thank the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Justice. Our revenue in terms of investment, because we collect this revenue and take it back to the consolidated fund. We don't maintain the fund.
I was hoping that you guys, you keep it at source.
No, all the money collected goes straight to the consolidated fund, and we give in our requests every financial, and they give us the money. So we have, in terms of investment, government has multiplied our budget by 3 times for the last 3 years. It is a very good will from government. So it has invested in the institution. But also when you look at the human resource, we have grown by almost double. So the numbers are good. But of course the expectation is big because what take a cent, you know, they want the
take a cent all
over. So we are a commercial entity and there's need to make like profit. But for us, that is not our core as far as our mandate is concerned. Because the non-tax revenue is even collected on behalf of URA, we are agents. And it is accounted also within the collections of URA. Those, when we are reporting, also pick out our compounded figure that URA has given us in terms of the collections, and we report to use it for reporting purposes. Our core role should not be money, should not be moved by money. Our core role as Uganda Registration Services Bureau is the formalization of the economy. And the formalization of the economy has different variables. It has the registration and the licensing aspects. The registration, in terms of legal existence, is URSB. We are almost the first point before you think of doing any business. If you want to exist legally, it is URSB. There can never be any other organization. If you want a certificate of patents, copyright, trademarks, you have to start with URSB. But we say after registration, so what? So every sector, if you're registered in the education sector or a medical sector, you have to get licensing. And we have, that's why we have one-stop centers, online and physically, to inform the public that, well, you have registered in the education sector, you need to get a license to operate. So you need this document, you need all this. So all this information is available. So our target is making sure that every business in this country is registered. And it's our dream. How I wish that can be achieved, because look at every day we are moving around and you see a mall with a saloon. This mall, almost every mall has a saloon, has a takeout, has a boutique, has a pharmacy, has a you know, it
and
has
of late there are more spas, in Nigeria
coffee shop. So all those are not registered, and they have very beautiful branding and names. And you know what smart people do now? There is name squatting. You know, people use cyber squatting. So they will take your name and come and register it. And for us, our examination, like I mentioned, we just look at the names on the register. We don't think outside the box. We look at the database we have. Can this name go through? If it doesn't exist, then it can go through. So, and by the time you realize and come to register, somebody has a name and has a certificate, your company name or business name. And because you have invested a lot in terms of branding and you have even promoted it on TikTok, and so you have to look for this person who registered it and buy out your name. So I'm not giving ideas to people, but that is what is happening. So it is very important that we promote formalization. And because, of course, businesses are to make money, our government, you have to pay just a little fee, but it's not a lot of money to register a business name. It's less than 100,000 for a business name, because it's for business. For a company, the minimum is 140,000. So for a brand, a trademark, from application to publication to registration, including the gazetting, it can't go beyond 400,000. But this is an investment that you put in once, and then you get your certificate of ownership. And no one wants to deal with you, supposing your product is going to be used in campaigns, in promotional. They want to know, do you own this product? Give us a certificate of ownership. And then they verify with Uganda Registration Services Bureau. And now it's even easy to verify. Don't interact with any or give up any entity, a business, before you have verified its existence, because there are people who have forged certificates. It's very easy. You just get on our website, just open an account, an account on our system at no fee. Then if you want to search, you'll just pay about 25,000 and you get to find out the owners of that company. But even if you want any written document from URSB, you can write to us and we always send us an email and we confirm that this business is registered. So we must focus on making sure that businesses register, irrespective of the of the money. So what should we be aiming at? Are the numbers of companies that are registered, numbers of businesses that are registered, numbers of trademarks that are registered. Like we have seen a lot of growth in patents. Many Ugandans never used to apply for patents, but now we have seen a growth of over 300% in terms of patent grants. Copyright, it's not mandatory to register copyright under the international framework. But the Ugandan law went ahead to provide for, you may register, it's an option, and it gives the reason for evidential purposes. Because if you have a song, you have written a book, you have written your curriculum or your presentation, and you want, it is for transactional purposes, you apply to URSB, get a certificate of registration, and take it to the radio, whether it is your soap or TV.
Or your podcast.
Or your podcast.
So
that people do not take it without authorization. So the numbers are increasing. The copyright, people who are registering their music and books, it's increasing. So let's aim at formalizing, making sure the product that you have, because now we are looking at a generation of content generation. Content creators on TikTok. The messages that you share, sometimes you find people copying the same, and there's a lot of piracy happening.
And they sing it, so when to gross the the following, then they sell it a week later.
Then people want to play people's music, but I'm glad that there are rules they can detect and block that. So people need to be sensitized. People need to be encouraged to register, and people need to be encouraged to commercialize their knowledge, because we are getting to the knowledge economy. We all have the intellectual property. Actually, I always tell people, when you ask somebody, do you have any property? Me, I don't have, because they're looking at land and cars. But you have the first property, the intellectual property. Many of these people on social media, bloggers, are making money from the intellectual property, the content they have. Just open a channel and they are making money and they are running adverts and they are thriving. But protect your works. And government has put in the best infrastructure, the best institutions that do this work. And we have digitized and also automated the processes. So the money will come, the money will follow. Government is not running after people's money. No, it's the money will come. Just register. Don't look at the money, just register. It's the bare minimum that you can do for yourself and the legacy that you have ahead.
You know, in the Western Uganda, where I come from, there's a saying that like it's better when you grow up and become famous. That old woman from the village who saw you growing up, it's better that they die off, so you have a chance to rewrite your history. Now, for me, I know you very well. I know where you came from, and I keep on asking myself, when did this young girl who grew up with become this transformational and everything? But I'm sure there are also many other people out there who do not know you. And there used to be a time, and when I used to work in the Monitor a long time ago, there used to be a time where people used to have this notion that in the region, Ugandans are lazy, that even some people would say that, especially our Kenyan brothers and sisters are far greater people. And one time there was even an allegation that one Kenyan can do the work of 6 people. And I remember asking in the newsroom that if they are that great, how come their GDP is not 6 times more than our GDP? So maybe trying to inspire our Ugandan leaders out there who need the confidence to be able to do great things. Maybe we need to have a proper understanding and say, get to know, who are you, where did you come from, how did you get here, and what. So maybe if we go to understand who you are, where you come from to where you are now, then people will start actually believing that yes, we Ugandans are actually capable of much greater things. And I mean, I also loved the way when you talked about that many of the systems that you guys are using are actually created here by our own Ugandans.
Thank you, Cham. I'm smiling over that. It's a very interesting question. Who I am, I was born like any other person, like any other human being, raised in the same community, Ugandan community, studied in the same education system of Uganda. One of your brothers was my teacher in school. I grew up in the same under the same leadership frameworks. And I went to university, applied for a job like any other ordinary Ugandan. On merit, I was taken on. And I grew up through the ranks within the institution. Actually, I started out as a state attorney, the lowest for a lawyer at that time, to the toppest now, having led every department of legal, related to legal. We had intellectual property, business registration, different departments.
Yeah.
So I did not fall from Mars. I'm a human being with the same blood like you. But the distinctive factor for us as human beings is the mindset and the passion and the outlook of things. And this is also regulated by the way we were raised, the things that we're exposed to. There are people dealing with traumas from childhood, and you still feel them at the workplace 40 years later, 50 years later. The person remembers in P2 what my father did.
Yeah.
And the anger is showing up at the workplace. So in fact, to the parents, the way you treat whether guardians, the way you raise your children has an impact in the next 30, 40 years, unless they have been delivered. So Ugandans are wonderful people, very wonderful people. We have Ugandans that are talented. Ugandans are hardworking. The only differentiating factor is the mindset and the people that forget where they have come from. People get comfortable and people start taking life for granted. You have to upskill yourself. You have to have a right attitude. You have to learn from the seniors. When I see the young people, especially the Gen Zs, insulting the old people, you can't escape that mentorship. You can't. We need the senior people. God did not make a mistake by leaving all kinds of age groups. Otherwise, God would say, the old people, you first go, and then we have the young generation. We have diversity, and there's a lot of abundance in our country. We are gifted by nature. You're in the tourism sector. We are gifted in terms of the freedom of expression. We are gifted in terms of having the education infrastructure that fits your size, whether in the rural, whether in Cambridge, whether in one, that fits your size. Of course, we are also gifted in terms of the stability, the stability in terms of the political. There's no war, there's no major threat to this nation. The weather is conducive. We don't have those extreme winters and the rest. So for me, what I can say to Ugandans is that anyone can make it, irrespective of your background. There must be no excuse, irrespective of your background. Look at our people who have made it. The stories, I came from grass to grace, from grass to grace, because they were raised under difficult circumstances. Some people had to pay their own tuition. Some people had to first go to farm and then go to school and excel. But of course, now the generation, everything's done for them, and they've taken things for granted. And maybe sometimes you need to go through some pain to appreciate what you have. People who get things on the table sometimes forget, and they think that milk comes from the fridge or water comes from a bottle, and they have to, and it's very difficult. And you also see from the space of work, when you tell people to give quality work, to go an extra mile, some people think it is harassment. For you, you see it is hard work and trying to mine the gold in that person. You have identified the potential. You say, Cham, you can do this better. I know you're knowledgeable, but somebody will take it as harassment. Another one will take it as an opportunity for learning. So we have different cultures, different experiences, and these determine where we get. So to the young people who have an opportunity, have the right attitude and respect your leaders, respect seniors. You don't lose anything from respecting. Learn from them. Just have a point of learning. Take lessons, because for me, you talked about leadership. I started leading right, I think, from the time my mother produced me, I think. But of course, in nursery school, I was a leader. Leadership finds me. I tell people, leadership finds me. I can be voted even when I'm not present. But I also reached an extent in life, I was breaking. That every time, Mercy, do this. Mercy, you can lead. I said, no. I have also a limit. I need to draw boundaries. And in life, you need to draw boundaries. Know your limit. Know where you can stop. Know lines you can cross and lines you cannot cross. The day you learn the art of boundaries, you will survive in this world. If you find Cham is your CEO, irrespective of whether he's young, respect him because he's your leader at that time. So you have no choice. So in terms of leadership, I've had the opportunity to lead right from nursery school, secondary school, head girl, Makerere University, vice president of the Law Society, LDC, wherever I went, I led. Even where I went outside to study, I led whites, I led Italians. So Rotary, I have led. But I don't take that for granted. I take every leadership position as a learning position. Where I am as a leader of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, yes, I have raised through the ranks and on merit. But I must tell you, yes, we have transformed this nation. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of chaos that goes, and there's a lot of back-end operations, there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of innovation. There are also fights. So not everything is flowery and so there's a lot. So when you have a disagreement, it's normal, but you don't take it personal. You don't have to agree in a society. So we have led, and we also leave others we lead. But I want to say that leading is okay. Leading is an experiential. People who just become motivational speakers and read from the books, and you think leadership is you feel it. You feel the bruises. People have been bruised. People have scars of leadership. People have pains of leadership. But there are great lessons to take out of every scar. So we have led, but it's not been easy. That to get transformation to this extent, there will be a team that will be like, no, twalaku speed, slow down. But meanwhile, you have targets. You have different supervisors. So getting people's children to work is not easy. Because even if you can tell your children to work and they say no, today I'm on leave, you know. So it's not easy. You're working with human beings. But human beings are the greatest, because God did not make a mistake to give us authority over the seas, over the creatures, over the earth, over everything that flies in the air. God did not make, that's the difference. God gave us that authority. So as leaders, as human beings, we need to respect one another. We need to respect humanity, even in these workspaces. So I was born in Uganda, raised in Uganda, grew up through the system, studied here and abroad, and the experience of leadership has been in different sectors, including leading volunteers, leading young people, leading senior people, leading all kinds of people at all levels, and now leading at a national level. It is an experience that is appreciated. That's an opportunity from God. So any of you can lead, you young people. Any of you can lead, but you have to have your mind set right and positive, but also you have to have passion and a respect for your colleagues and the people that lead you. But I also want to thank the board. We have a board. We have not made these achievements alone. We have a board led by the Right Honorable His Excellency Ambassador Tajira. We have a minister, Honorable Norbert Mao. We have the PSST, Dr. Ramadan, because he clears our budgets and gives us the finances. We have our PSCs. We have the senior management, the top management of URSB. That is the think tank and the engine of the institution that all these decisions are first approved before they're implemented. And to all staff of URSB, it's such an amazing staff. Many of them are young. The median age of URSB is about 33 years. So we have very many young people, and they are doing great work, very great work. And as a leader, to be successful, you have to learn how to work with young people. These young people are not traditional 8 to 5 people. No, they can work even the night shift, they say, as long as you have an infrastructure, because all our work now is ICT. They can even work from home. We make sure that we deploy systems, Wi-Fi, we give them tools. Every staff has a computer. So because you can work from anywhere. So we have young people with a great attitude that they work so hard and so smart. And that's how we are moving. And never think that a leader does not lead alone. It's a whole system, it's a whole infrastructure. So these achievements are not my achievements. And are not my achievement as an individual, as my title. Any person, any leader would have achieved this or even more. But when you respect this infrastructure, right from the lowest cadre to the toppest cadre, the institution will move. So that's how we are moving at URSB. And I take this opportunity to thank every colleague at Uganda Registration Services Bureau. You guys are great. you
Actually,
get,
I need to mention there is Mr. Antare there. I think he's the director of business registration. There's an issue I had and I called him and I was shocked he gave me an appointment for 7 a.m. in the morning and I was like, that's so un-government, like, being there at 7 a.m. So I found that interesting. And
Mr. Antale is now the Deputy Registrar General in charge of legal affairs.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's no longer director.
He's
a big man now.
He's a munene.
Yes. You should invite him for an interview as well.
When I will,
we are
of course.
In office.
Yeah.
We're in office by 7. We work so we are an office that you'll find us, even when we had not digitized, you'll find us open 7. We're already in business.
Interesting.
Yes.
When I was young, I used to think being a CEO is one of the best things. But I think I may want to change my mind. Other than the payment, it seems not, I used to think CEOs just be around, they got cocktails, they swing around in chairs. But of course, when I grew up, I got to think different. If the young bossy, state attorney had a chance to ride with the Mercy now, knowing what you know, what kind of conversation would you be telling about, or would you be telling her about where she's headed, especially about, you talked about the scars of leadership and maybe the kind of preparation that young people need to make as they make their way to the top?
Thank you so much. Well, what an interesting question. Every experience is a learning lesson. And every leadership position at CHAM is a season in life. It's a season in life.
Yeah.
So when I was leading at state attorney level, manager level, director level, there you can survive because there's somebody driving the car. When you are not even a co-driver and you're seated behind, and all you need to do is just to bring results, tell people you do this, so that our boss shines.
Yeah.
It is very different when you come to the driving seat. The driving seat, you're the pilot. You're moving the institution. That when you move at a high speed, you risk the people. When you slow down, you'll also risk the progress. When you see a pothole, you see how to have, because these people, they will not see that pothole. You're the one at the front. When you see a hump, you see, and even that the fuel gauge, the monies, the accounts, and what, you see the fuel gauge going down. You'll have to think, how do we get out of this?
Yeah.
So being a CEO, Mr. Cham, being the toppest is not a joking subject. If you want to have luxury, don't come to this space of being a CEO. More of a government agency. For a private sector, yes, they also have their targets, but I'm talking about leading the public sector workers. You have to be firm, you have to allow to learn, you have to be humble. When you make a mistake, you have to see how to correct it and apologize. You have to be a learning person. Otherwise, if you come with your ego, if you come with your entitlement, if you come with your arrogance, you will not lead or stress or harass people's children.
Yeah.
You will not. So you have to have an understanding, and you will be taken for granted. Sometimes you'll be undermined, you'll be undergraded. But what do? You just say, well, I'm just doing my work. Focus on the vision. Don't personalize issues. Focus on the vision. Focus on where you're going. Otherwise, if you're in a driving seat and you start looking behind, you're going to knock.
Yeah.
You start hearing the noises, the diversion. No, you're going to knock. So it is something to look up to.
Yeah.
It is a learning. When you find yourself there, when you find yourself in the deep end, what did you do? You have
to swim hard or you
whether
drown.
you know how to swim or not, either you can't even shout for, you have to find any skill of getting out. But through that, when you survive, you learn. You learn a lesson. So don't look at the luxury. Let's look at the service and the impact that you're making. The impact that you're making as an individual, your contribution that you make. I always challenge my colleagues that just getting out of home every day, what goes on your mind? Did you ever realize the impact or what you're bringing on the table? Or there's a meeting and you keep quiet the whole year. Do you ever think of the value that we lose from you not participating? So what value are we bringing on board? So as a leader, I appreciate the value that I've brought on board because I am genuine, I'm authentic. I have made mistakes like any other leader. I have gotten bruises and scars out of leadership, but I learn from them and move on.
Yeah.
Because the word, we are moving, we are movement. We are not going to stop until your time comes.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, there's nobody that can take that capital, that leadership capital that you have learned over years. And you can't compare me, if I had stopped at director level, commissioner level, I don't think I would have been a better person or appreciated who I am at this level. So leadership helps to know about yourself and about others, about how to lead yourself and how to lead communities. And again, maybe lastly on that, leadership can humble you. Leadership as a government agency, it can humble you.
Properly.
It can humble you properly. Somebody will tell you, I'm not going to do this work. And you say, okay, remember, okay, this is not my husband's business or my family business. It's okay, let me see how I can tone down.
Plan B.
Plan B.
Yeah.
You get one who will work with humility instead of even blocking your progress. There are people who block progress. Like the way the nations have oppositions. Business, families have people, you have cousins that may not wish you well, or uncles that may not wish you well. They think you took their blessings of the family. Also, organizations have oppositions. There are people who will be like in a rebel group and will want to fight every government, every leadership system that comes on. But if you focus on throwing stones on the trivial issues, you will miss the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that, have we made transformation? Have you survived? Have you transformed? Have you made impact? And then you leave the rest to be taken on by the next leaders. But also you build other leaders. If I left today, there are leaders waiting to take on. Because we have trained, we have built a system, not based on me. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, but that question about your background, you really, you've really summarized it. We want to know who are your hobbies, your OGs, and exactly where it all started from, and there's a bit about, many people may not know up until today. The guys who like eating meat. So we want to know you properly. Who are you? Where did it all start?
With the positions that we hold. And what goes on in public, people are always hunting for us, even the decisions that we make and the cases that we handle, very sensitive. And people are always trying to find, who is this? Where can we get her? Where can we get check her? So that's why I think with time people are holding some personal information to themselves and to use why it is necessary. Yes, I like I said, I studied in schools in Imbarara, some in Bushenyi, then Makerere University, then again Makerere University. I did law at Makerere University. I did an MBA at Makerere University. I did a Masters of Intellectual Property in Italy. And many qualifications in Yale, Harvard, and so on. So I am a mother of many. I'm a wife. I'm a mentor. I'm a daughter. I tell people, sometimes when you're in this leadership position, sometimes people don't think even that you are staff. So if my rights are infringed as a leader, I write a letter to human resource. Really, my rights are. And they're like, but you're the CEO. But I'm writing as staff. You human resource do something. So people think that when you are a leader, you don't have any blood flowing. You don't face any pain. You don't have a family. You don't have a spouse to look after or to look up to or to you don't have parents. Because I have take off time to look after my parents, for example. I have take off time to get leave to take care of my children or to do what. So sometimes people look at you and they think, because leadership is maybe attributed to men, and we still have that mindset that a man should be the one in the chair. Women have so many responsibilities, so many responsibilities. And you have family, the family, your spouse and children, but you also have a family you come from, your daughter, you are you have uncles, you have siblings. You also have your in-laws family, your daughter-in-law. Then you have OGs. You have OGs, OGs, you have OGs, you have OBs, you have you have this society, the communities that you come from. So don't be in that chair of leadership and you become a machine. You must remain a human being. But also, don't become a female leader and you think you can be a man. Changing to trousers, what? You're speaking like you're posing like you. No, you still have, I was about to say that we are on air. you still have the biological system.
Yeah.
There are hormonal issues. There are even days when a woman is not in the mood. There are those days of the month. Meanwhile, you have to take a decision.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, let me first hold. Even sometimes, even when you're not in those moments, you take a decision and the man will say that, I think she's in her days, those days of the month. So we have faced challenges as women, leaders. So just know that I appreciate my background. And like I mentioned, I went to school and I was raised in this community and I've learned from this community. Thank you.
You know, like you mentioned, there's I think on Twitter, you know, we like, especially for you guys who work for government, we like say, oh, taxpayers money, this. Then someone said, but even me, I'm a taxpayer. So don't talk about me as if I'm not, you know. So even me, I'm...
And you see, Cham, many people, no, not many, some people have victimized. They think that when you work with government, you're in a government car, because that is, it facilitates, for me, a government car is a tool that it facilitates your work. But somebody will be like, you're eating our money, you're doing what? But do you know what I'm going through? I pay taxes. Half of my salary almost goes to the taxes. So we are also Ugandans like any other person. It's just that at this moment, I'm the leader driving a government car. But don't see me in a new suit or with an iPhone. What is the latest iPhone? I don't know. And you think that it's your money. And you think that it's your money. Let's respect one. And this is what I say, respect. I've seen respect going down. There's a lot of disrespect in our communities. When you see the comments of people, on people who work with government, they think that the people working in government are the ones who downloaded all the problems of this earth. But we also have the same roads that you're complaining about are the same roads we use. The same electricity challenges or utility challenges, access to medicine and what, they are the same challenges that we face. We have families, we have relatives, we have people that we live with. So let us appreciate that we are Uganda. First of all, human beings created in God's image. Then appreciate that we are in this Uganda. It is our country. So nobody has a right to push me out of Uganda. And let's not judge each other because of our origins. That's why even sometimes you don't want to say where you come from, because people will be like, hey, that one. You get, it has come to that.
You are the people.
Yes, hey, you're the people. You're the people. But we were born there. And this is how God framed it. So let's learn to embrace diversity, but also appreciate our origins, our different origins. They bring the aura, the scent to the livelihood, because the different cultures should unite us and should be our heritage. And you know, because these things happen, maybe my daughter will be taken by your son, or my son will take your daughter. You know, that's how the world works. That we don't look at ourselves as now, we look at the future and whatever we do. And I always tell some of my teams, I'm like, I wish them blessings, and I always do. And sometimes I tell them, I wish the same way you treat others, or the same way you treat your leaders, can be the same treatment you're given. So you reflect on how you treat your leader, how you treat the people you lead. Would you want that treatment?
You remind me that there's someone who wrote on X, and they're like, think about your partner or your spouse. If you were on the other side, would you date you? And then some girl wrote that, well, I don't date broke people. You know, and which you know, one of the things that we are very passionate about at the CEO East Africa magazine, and the reason why we started this podcast is because we create a platform where leaders need to learn from each other, and at the end of the day, we create a better country. And hopefully, before I finish this year, I'm planning to do a kind of like conference that brings together leaders to discuss the kind of leadership we need to take us to the tenfold. Because it's not something we can just make happen. I think there needs to be that conversation both at at the public, at the private, and the non-profit level to discuss what kind of leadership should we expect from each other to be able to to actualize all these things that we want to do. So, imagining I invited you to that conference to speak, and what are some of the key things, and this for me you could deliver them in form of some of the lessons you've learned as a leader. What are some of the things you need to be telling fellow leaders that we need to be doing to be able to be as a good example, but also to lead this big march to the tenfold growth strategy?
Thank you very much for that question. Indeed, as government, we have the heads of government agencies, and this is a platform that brings all heads of government agencies together, and it is headed by the head of public service and the deputy head of public service, also who is in charge of performance and service delivery in government, but under the framework of the Office of the Prime Minister. So every month we have these conversations. In fact, we are meeting again on 1st July. Organizations host, and we discuss where are we going wrong, how can we lead better, how can we want to thank the head of public service for Madame Nachobe for leading us, and Madame Jenny Chasimire for leading us in that respect. If you brought us together as CEOs in the private sector and government sector, indeed it will be important for us to discuss the tenfold strategy, but also the ATMs of government that will take us to the next development strategy as a country. And what I would emphasize, of course, is we have the second largest, youngest population in the world as Uganda. The young people should not be looked at as a burden, irrespective of their mind, because that's their mind. Even us when we were young, we had, remember the French cut? We used to do French cut, the Walkman. This people do not know. We had our way of doing things. So how I wish young people would be brought on board, because they're the majority. How I wish every organization in government or private sector, took on like 10 young people who have finished either this a university or any tertiary institution for internship, apprenticeship, whatever it is, that they are taken on, given facilitation in terms of building experience and skilling. We built a program on graduate interns, students that leave university, but only that we have few slots because of the budget constraints. So you get young people within these private companies that we have. They should be able to take on students or young people for skilling, the ones that have completed. How I wish that every person that is aged maybe 40 and above and is in good standing in terms of character, has a certificate of good standing, can take on like 2 or 3 young people as part of mentorship. Of course, this has to be done well, so there's no harassment, there's no abuse of, and that. We, the senior people, must hold the young people. Hold them by giving them opportunities. How I wish we'd even have innovation hubs at every region, every municipality, because they're universities, whether private or public. Almost maybe over 70 universities. How can every university give us a space of innovation for young people to come, access data, to test their tools, create their content,
be registered.
And what? Yes, be registered. How I wish government can open up that the young people that are looking for jobs, because there's joblessness, there's lack of jobs, can be registered in terms of businesses at no fee. Free registration of businesses for young people below maybe 30 or 25, depending on the age statistics given by UBOS. And you say, no, every young person between this and this, between 18, because they are very bright, between 18 and, okay, let's say youth. I think youth stops at
18 and 35.
18 and 35. They can register their businesses for free. Why will the government benefit from? They will create jobs.
Yeah.
They will pay taxes in the long run when they expand their businesses. So if we can do free registration for young people, we will create jobs indirectly. So, and we'll feed into the tenfold strategy.
Yeah.
So the young people, I'm passionate about young people. Not that I'm not passionate about you, all the people, but young people, because they hold the future.
Yeah.
I'm imagining the legacy that we have set. Because many young people are unemployed. They are being used. You see what is happening in social media. They are doing things they are not supposed to do. They are being undermined. They don't have any sense of identity and belonging in some cases. So if we had an infrastructure to absorb them, to create jobs, and also give them some startup capital, it's not a lot of money. The same way we are doing, they're using the PDM strategy. It can be a youth funding, entrepreneurship fund set aside for those youth that don't want to go into normal employment and what, they can be engaged. So for me, young people, then of course technology, it is here. Digital transformation is the one that has led URSB to where it is. You cannot, technology is always shifting, it's an enabler. You don't know what technology will come tomorrow that will make even these shows accessible. You don't need the whole studio. You put something and it will form into a studio. Some things are coming. This will be developed by these young people that you have given the access to the Wi-Fi, affordable access to the internet. You've given a fund to start up their farms, the startup entities. And then you see how nations will thrive, because nations thrive through innovation. That is part of innovation. Innovation. We can't create a knowledge economy when we have not built that infrastructure. So I would tell my fellow CEOs to give opportunities to these young people and allow the flexibility. If a young person, for a young person, you give them an assignment that is supposed to take like 3 days, they'll do it in 1 hour because they have all these tools. Don't add them work. For them, they are saving time so that they go hang out and play and pray and come back when they are fresh. So we have to learn how they work. I've learned how young people work. Not because I have young people in my home, but also because I have young people in my place of work. And they are doing great. When they are given tools, they are given the trust. They are given the environment and the comfort. You see the results that they will produce. So young people, I will dwell on young people, and then the benefits and the impact will be felt at a household level, it will be felt at a community level, but it will also be felt at a national level and globally. So we can't run away from the young people. So the rest mindset, the rest is just working to collaborative frameworks, working together with the private sector, government to government, business. The rest are the basic and usual stuff, but we must move a shift in terms of getting the young people on the table. On the table. Not only in parliament, young people on let's have young people on the boards. You get a young person on the board and you see how they think. They are great. They are great resources. So let's not leave them behind. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mercy. For those of you who do not know, the name Kainobwisho, it speaks to, Bwisho is something to do with the eyes. I guess something to do, a person who has an eye for something, good vision.
That's my father's name.
So a lot of people have vision. So you've had the vision there, right? Right. And I think that's a very nice way to end this on a high note, that bet on a young person today. In whatever space you are, give a young person a chance, give them an opportunity, bring them to the table. Don't keep them under the table like, for those of us who grew up in the village, they used to say when elders are speaking, young people don't talk. And I think most of us could have lost an opportunity around that time. And of course, as a way of giving young people a chance, please do share with them this podcast, because it's going to help expand their way of looking at things. And for those of you who made it a habit to consume our content, please do continue watching and sharing with whoever you meet out there. And if there's a great leader whom you think can make a difference to our show, please recommend them to us. We will host them on this show. And thank you very much, and see you on the next show.